Hi everyone, feels good to be back again. Today we're going to be working on some essential elements. I know this is one of those very tedious parts of learning an instrument, but we're here to build some fundamental tools for you to be, eventually be able to free your music and be as expressive as you want in your music. Now let's do a little review on the Bowhold. So your middle finger and your thumb should be making like a circle. They should have a contact point, making a circle, and put it on the edge of the grip, so right here. And then relax your index finger a little bit spread out, your ring finger, and your pinky should be curved on the top like this. And your wrist should be flat, and everything should be able to move around, but still holding your bowl relaxed. Now let's take a look at number 49. We have 4/4 here, which means that we have 4 beats in a measure. And we're starting with open A string. So we are playing 4 notes of open A string, and then you get 4 beats of rest to get prepared to play 4 beats of open D string. Now let's take a look at our A string. Place your bowl at the frog and let's check a few things. Make sure that your wrist is somewhat flat. It can be a little bit bent sideways, but it can't be looking like this. So wrist flat, and your elbow should be dropping naturally but still on the same surface as your wrist. Your shoulder should be relaxed. We don't want to see something like this. Relax your shoulder and make sure these 3 points are making a good triangle. Now let's play down bow, and as you play, try to see if your bow can stay as parallel to the bridge as possible. So and when you get to the tip, let's stay for here and check another few things. We don't want to see something like this. Don't push to your index finger like this. We want to make sure that the elbows stay on the same surface as your wrist still. So something like this, and we don't want to see shoulder or elbow. Make sure that everything is looking healthy and relaxed. Relax on your tip, and then we can go back. So same concept, as you come back, make sure that your bow is still staying parallel to the bridge. Back to where we started. So elbow relaxed, wrist relaxed, elbow relaxed, and shoulder relaxed. They should be looking like this. Now I'm going to set a metronome for quarter note equals to 35 and play along with me, and let's make sure that we focus on the points that were mentioned. Now let's start from down bow. Place your bowl at the frog and make sure that your wrist, elbow, and shoulder are all relaxed. 3, 2, 1. Relax and make sure to check the points again. 1. Now after you're somewhat used to playing on A string, let's move on to the third measure, which is the open D string. So the transition from A string to D string is called the string crossing. And the smooth string crossing requires a few things. Now you can only use your wrist to cross the string. Your hand shape will become a little bit like this, and we want a flat wrist, so we're going to be leading the string crossing with our elbow. See how the bridge is arched this way? Your elbow should be drawing a similar shape. So going from A string to D string is a very little angle change, and just lead with your elbow. So this is my A string, and this is my D string. You can play with it just by placing your bow on the string and not play anything, and just do this little exercise to make sure that your arm gets to know the angle of each string. Of course you can go further, but let's just focus on D string, and A string for now. Another thing to think about, when we're playing, we don't want to be thinking that we're pressing on the string and trying to make sound. If we're thinking pressing, then we'll tend to make this kind of very compressed sound. But instead we have to think about we're pulling the string. So sideways, we're pulling it horizontally instead of trying to make a sound, putting strength on it, putting effort on it vertically. So think about it sideways. You have a more ringing tone. If you're thinking vertically and pressing, it'll sound like you're restricting the strings from vibrating by itself, so the sound is less ringing and it requires more energy from you. It's more tiring. So let's think about pulling the string. It'll be easier for you to play as well. Now I have my metronome on with me again. Quarter note equals to 35. And let's work on our D string here together. 4, 3, look at your 3 points, 1. Relax, and this time, let's check the position when we get to the tip. 1. Do it a few times until you get used to the movement. Now let's put together the entire 4 measure and also do the repeat. So first we're starting from the A string, and make sure you check the 3 points. Sorry, I'm repeating myself again and again, but it's so important. It's so important that you have to be relaxed. So the angle you're used to that we practiced for A string, and then you can start. And during the 4 beats of rest, you're leading by your elbow and to raise the entire arm to where the D string angle that you found, in your practice. And then when you get to the D string, check again, and then you can play. After this, you have 4 beats of rest, and you're going back to A string, led by your elbow. Lower your arm a little bit. Same surface, relaxed, and then you can play A string. Raise your elbow, going back to D string. You do this again and again until you get used to the string crossing, the bow change, and be relaxed. Now let's play together. I'm setting the metronome still to quarter note equals to 35. It's lower for now, but you get more time to check the points you need. Your elbow, the things I kept repeating. Okay, I'm setting to 35. Let's start from the first measure. Place it on the A string. Make sure these 3 points are good to go. 1. Raise your elbow to the D string angle. 1. Lower your elbow, going back to the A string. 1. raise your elbow. Make sure it stays inside your body. And relax. That's it for today. I think that was enough of me repeating shoulder, arm, wrist, elbow, whatever. Well, have fun practicing.